James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is September 16th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this will all start at, in 5 minutes exactly, if you're joining us afterwards. If you're joining us beforehand, as of and now, we're going to cover it all, as we always do: volcanoes, earthquakes, all of the tropical storms and storms. We're going to cover the air quality, the wildfires, the evacuations, the tornadoes. So we have it all, nailed down, hopefully. Hey, Dave Miller. It goes terrible. And after I get enough people on here, I want to tell y'all what happened to me today. It's been one of the worst days ever, and I'm trying to hold on mentally, but got a lot to deal with. Hey, Catherine. Hey, Karen. We're going to start at exactly 10 p.m. This is live USGS with Kilauea. It was erupting hard yesterday. I don't even know if we're going to be able to count it today. We're going to do a live with volcanoes, earthquakes, wildfires, evacuations, air quality, storms, tropical storms, you name it. You know it. You know it and you name it. This is Kilauea. It looks very quiet right now. This is live from the USGS. Hey, Drama. Man, I'm going to tell y'all everything. As soon as we get enough people on, I don't want to repeat myself, but it starts out and just keeps going today. I wish I could start telling y'all now. Rack this up as one of the worst days for me in just some time. And they seem to get worse each year. I mean, a very long time. Got some serious problems with my daughter. Luckily not physically. They're mental problems, and I'm not from a divorced family. I don't know if the divorce caused it or there's something that happened that I don't know about. I've been, they tried to separate me, but I would never allow that to happen. And I think y'all know that she was bullied. She's on Conroe ISD homeschool. She goes to flip the flags twice a week at practice. She's still on that team. But Conroe ISD has computers, and they give us all a nice computer. Not that we needed one. And it only takes her about 2.5 hours a day with what they do. And she's still in honors courses. I'm trying to get her to take the GED at 15 because she could already pass the GED, guys. Y'all probably heard her in 4th grade. She was smarter than us in 4th grade, right? Comes from an outspoken father, I'm afraid. She's done some awful things. Y'all remember she was bullied, and I don't even know if that's true anymore. But the police, y'all probably don't know this. I know Dr. Joey does. The police had come out to Dr. Joey's house multiple times, so I felt like I could tell him. The mother-in-law called the police about 2-3 weeks ago. And then I told y'all online she got her progress report, straight A's and 1B. Well, everyone was thrilled. Everyone backed off, gave her phone back, gave her TV back, gave her, we don't care if she has a computer, but her special $4,000 Apple computer that can get on with all of her buddies, that's a different story. It turns out that everything that she turned in last week, she got graded about an 18 or 20 on. We didn't know this till today, or yesterday. I didn't know it till today. And she refuses to even spend 2 hours. Now, most of these kids are making it to school by 7:45, not getting home till 5:45 in our neighborhoods. All of them, all these kids. I pulled attorneys out of my hat, got her put in this special situation deal. I really did. Went after the district. The principal of the junior high has been fired. I feel terrible about that, right? And if I ever were to find out that there was not a bully, which I think there might have been a bully at some point, but that became an anchor. You can't hit your kid anymore. They're going to come arrest me. Well, they've already been to the house again today. Luckily, I don't live there, but my ex-wife, me and her are still good friends. We talk at least once a day, and she's ready to just bail, right? Give me the house and bail, but our daughter's in such bad shape mentally. So it turns out she faked all of her assignments last week. All of her assignments were faked. I mentioned to y'all while we were live, God, she's turned in like 20 assignments right before they were due. That's awesome. Well, she got 10s and 20s, and that was them giving her 10s and 20s, okay? So that brings all the straight A's and B's down to F's, by the way, major tests, and then she refused to go to school today. Wake up, go to school for her is in her, whatever the cool brand is, nightgown and puffy slippers, going into one of our studies and getting on the computer by, 8:45. Now I went after the district. They've never done this for another child like they did it for her. She finished last year off fine. We were like, thank God, let her have some fun this summer. Everything seemed to be going okay. Got the progress report. Then we got straight F's on Friday. And then she refused to get up and even check in. Because really, all she has to do is check in at 8:45. And then she can go back to sleep and do her work later. As long as she does her work and tries. And I did say something last week. I said, sweetheart, I hope you're taking your time making sure these are right, because you're not going to have all that stuff that you have, and your life's not going to be like this if you're screwed with us. Well, from what I've heard, I shouldn't even tell you all this, she's been after my wife with sharp items, etc., over this damn Apple, this damn $1,400 Apple phone that we bought. Remember that? The Gold Pro? Anyway, the wife's trying to get it right now. And already, I think, has taken the TV out of the room and taken the laptop. But we're afraid that she may hurt herself. Her whole life is she wanted to sun at the pool, our backyard pool today. Which, of course, I don't live there. But she wanted to sun at the pool because she thought she's going to be a movie star and doesn't have to worry about school. No, she's being serious, believe it or not. I know y'all saw pictures of her when she was 12 the other day. Well, then we had CPS, or not CPS, the school people, wherever the school people are. Luckily, not CPS yet. At some level, my dad said, just let her fail. She's going to have to fail finally. We've always held her up. She's always made straight A's, always been on the winning teams. Everything we've done has just been the wrong thing. I said, well, you're the one that bought the $1,400 phone that's ruined her life. He said, well, take it away. Now, I have a Samsung Galaxy, and if I give it to her, she'll just break it right in front of me. That's how bad she is. She just turned 13. She tells everyone to go themselves. She's losing all of her friends. We see it happening. We don't know what's going on. Not on drugs. And then, this doesn't sound as important, right? Because we had the counselors or something from Conroe ISD show up. Not CPS yet. But we had the sheriff's department a few weeks ago. I told DJ, I don't know if I told you guys. Luckily, the grandma called them. I was like, don't do that. She hung up on me. I've got to call the police. Sheriff's department was cool as shit. I won't lie. but the kid is out of control, and you can't spank them anymore. Not that I really want to spank her, but you can't spank them anymore. You go to jail. And I was hoping Dr. Joe would pick up my call that I made to him a bit ago, because he's been through this where his daughter went and got an attorney at a young age. So he's a pro at this, and he's had troubles like this. I've raised 2 boys. It was a pleasure to raise them. It seems like they matured so easily, stayed in school. I don't know. But anyway, so now we've had Sheriff's Department and the Conroe Independent School District again. After I had the principal, I don't know if I had the principal fired, but I did have attorneys involved. You know that to get her, because I thought she was being bullied. That was the story we were getting, right? The story we were getting. And we have counselors talk to her, psychiatrists, sociologists, counselors, everything. And like I said, I went over there and there were 3 or 4 holes in the wall that she'd either kicked in the wall or thrown a chair through the wall or something. She just turned 13, guys. Straight A student, never missed any school. Take dad away for 36 months, see what happens. See what happens. She won't speak to me. Well, she can't speak to me because that phone, they're about to take it away from her. I still have her old Galaxy. Galaxies are great. But if I handed it to her and said, here, I'll pay for this one, she'd throw it at me like it was trash. Right? So even my dad, and he has bought more for her and done more for her, which is probably a mistake, said today, it's time, because he's been up to the district and school with me. And again, the principal no longer has a job. He said it's time to let her fail. Let her fail. What do you guys think about that? Should I continue to try to pull her through, or should I just let her fail at 13 years old? And we have no idea what occurred. It occurred in March of last year, whatever it was. And I cannot pinpoint anything. She gave us a name and gave us everything. I gave it to the school. It was an illegal alien from Venezuela, a big, heavy girl, Hispanic. And then today, remember how I showed y'all that there was just a 8 to 10 centimeter tsunami, which is a tsunami. Anything created by an act of nature, including a comet or any landslides, that's a tsunami. Even if it's a half an inch, doesn't matter. I got kicked out of one of these earthquake groups. That I'm like a top contributor on it because I had a bunch of leftist women decide that it wasn't a big enough tsunami for them. I'm guessing they didn't watch the whole show because I said it's insignificant. Here we can see the measurements. I took them all the way down to the measurements on each 3 of the buoys that were in event mode. Let's just say male, there's nothing but females, but the male owner of the channel banned me instead of like erasing my video or sending me an email and said that there was no tsunami. He was the expert. I'm sure that those of y'all that are friends with me on YouTube already know. And it's laughable because I have all these people in the chat on that deal. He's erased it now. They come in and they share the buoys in event mode with these people saying there was no tsunami. They never watched the video. Yes, I know your attention spans aren't as long as they used to be, but I think it was like a 5 or 6 minute video. And I went into each buoy and saying it was not significant. It was definitely from, a 6.5 earthquake offshore, definitely a small tsunami created. I said it was inches. And hey, nothing's insignificant. I had all these top pros come on and fight for me. And then I said, well, let's just erase the post. You know, I already got the views from them. Let's just erase the post. And then that's when I tried to erase it. That's when he banned me. I already took off Tsunami from the title for him, and I'd like to expose him, and I probably will soon. If he doesn't let me back on, I'm going to expose him. Just dox him, give you his picture. Anyway, what do y'all think I should do with a daughter? We'll ask y'all that. Yes, I'm sure you know him. Don't all birds of a feather flock together. If y'all actually watched my video, I know it's hard, but if you actually watch my video, you'll see that in fact there was a tsunami warning, as he said there wasn't. It's because he got to it 8 hours later. And then we have 3 buoys in event mode, which people kept posting for these people yelling at me. There were 100% females. Why are you fear-mongering? There was no tsunami. If you had watched this video, I showed each 3 of the buoys and how large the tsunami was. And we could have laughed together, but you were too lazy or ignorant to watch the video. Period. All right. The question. I'm going to add an option, if y'all heard the story. Straight A student, never missed a day of school until April last year. Said she was being bullied. Let's get into the report. Said she was being bullied. You know me, 3 meetings with the vice principal first, the principal next, then the school district. I was going to bring the house down because she's not the only person being bullied by these illegal aliens at these high-end, we're in a pretty high-end area, high-end school here. They'll get their way here. I've got them living around me now. No hablo inglés. Remember that. All right, let's bounce. All right, guys, let's get started. So that's just part of my day. I could just name so many other terrible things that occurred. I hate to do it to you guys. But I like to give a little truth in the world. I'm so worried about my daughter, going to juvenile hall because she refuses to do. It's so easy for her, too. It's wild that she won't do it. Again, I'm not from a divorced family. My wife's mother divorced 4 times while she grew up, so if I would have known any of that, I would have ran like hell, right? But I didn't know. Let's get to volcanoes and earthquakes, or volcano-discovery.denmark. Let's figure out how many volcanoes are actually going off. And I'm going to have to edit that first part off, so you guys don't share that until I edit the first part off. I don't want CPS holding against me. I've never touched her, never threatened her, never yelled at her. I wish that you could still spank them. I wish that you could still, I don't know, we would never skip school unless we were sick. Tough love, take her phone away, take her TV away. We can't get the phone yet because we don't want to physically fight her. That's happened before. I mean, obviously, I would just end up hurting her, and that's why I don't even want to go over there. So they're waiting for a strategic time to take the phone away. She sleeps 18 hours a day. 18 hours a day. And we've brought her to every specialist in the world medically, and then every specialist as far as psychology, sociology, whatever, sociologist, everywhere. Counselors, religion, we've tried it all. The wife's just ready to give me the house and leave, but this is a get arrested situation. if we can't get her to go to school. What they'll do is they're about to next week kick her out of the online program, and she doesn't understand, and her color guard, as she's one of the 3 top leaders, she's going to find out the hard way. It's going to be so sad. Nothing I can do. Even my dad, the one that bought most of the crap she has, said we're going to have to let her learn. He's been to the district with me and the principal, or VP on that case. Let's get going. How many, you guys guess, how many volcanoes are erupting currently? You know, it's hard to do the tough love. It was so easy with the boys, but it's harder to do the tough love with the girl, you know, especially, well, not this one so much because she's being a BITC, you know what? She's losing her friends with her attitude. Her attitude is just, she's never gone without more than enough, right? Imagine having 2 sets of grandparents, no grandchildren, mother and father making very good money for the last 15 years. And imagine she's never gone without anything she pointed at in the store. And now she's about to go into some kind of juvenile hall or something, and I'm not going to be able to save her. They're going to end up stomping on her head like I see on TikTok. All right, let me move on. 4, 5, 6, 7. Woo. That's about where we should be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 40. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I must mean 67. I must have missed one, guys. That's what happens. I used to get my butt whooped too. My dad doesn't remember any of that. I remember guarding myself with my hands from the leather belt. I mean, I remember it all. If anyone were to whip her, she'd have you put in jail. 6 or 7 volcanoes. That's how it goes now. I was hoping Dr. Joe would show up with some good advice, but I don't know if he's here. I think he might have passed out. Yay! What did I type in? Uh-oh. Miss Tiffany won. It's usually always Teresa, so I'm a little bit taken back. What's going on there? You protected your brother in school? It's bad in school. I had the number 1 goalie. He gets his haircut where I get my haircut. He goes to her little school over there, 7th, 8th grade, and that's what it is. And he's 6'4". His legs were as big as my huge. Both my legs were as big as one of his. He's the number 1 goalie, plays for the team. And he said he's still afraid to go to the restrooms unless he gets a pass in between, never during transition of class. And we talked about this with the district. It's ridiculous, these immigrants, what they're doing to our children as well. Because you know what their parents are saying at home. Or I don't, you tell me. But this one is an immigrant and we're paying for apartment or food. We're paying for her to have my child drop out of school. I even have her name and address. The only reason I haven't gone over there is because I'm too old to go to jail. All right, looks like we just had a 6-3 over here, guys. Zoom in and take a look at what we've got. Big quake here. A 6-3 here. And see how long ago this was. going to be the big bad boy of the day for sure. Almost be something I do a report on there. So 2.7 atomic bombs worth of energy released. Major reporting, USGS. It is confirmed here, manually revised. Did they downgrade it? Is that what that means? Manually revised. Hard to say. And we'll take a quick look at the different recording agencies. USGS 6.3, 31 kilometers, 6.3, 35 kilometers. Germany, European 6.3, International Research Institute on Seismology 6.3, 6.1 the French, Italian 6.3, Australia 6.3, Indonesia says 6.6. I bet they downgraded it. I bet Indonesia nailed it. The BMKG, like the KGB M. All right, then the Chinese actually rang in on this one as a 6.3. Very interesting. Never ever see that, especially when it's not on their property here. I wonder why they did that. There's a big swarm right here. I guess this is going to be the Philippines. This is Guam, U.S. Army base. These are all volcanoes. Every bump you see, this is on a volcanic ridge. I guess Guam is a volcano. I mean, I'm sorry she's passed, Sheila Jackson Lee, but I heard her in chambers in a hearing ask if we built that extra base on Guam, wouldn't it tip over? I mean, she has no idea even how an island is formed. Talk about affirmative action at work. Whoa, a 5.7 here. A lot of big quakes today. A 4.7 here. I'm not even looking at all of them. I'm just looking at 4.0s and stronger here. A 4.7 going up towards the peninsula in Russia. Wow. This is the very busiest I've seen the map in a long time with 4.0s and higher. This is right here in Texas, guys. It's a fracking earthquake. You can tell by the depth that this is one of the biggest fracking earthquakes. I've seen a 5.8. It's a 5.1. One of the biggest earthquakes on Earth currently, a 5.7 over here. There's so many we can barely cover them. This is going to be up here near Fiji, 5.1, Tonga, and a 4.1. It's going to be near Easter Island, a 5.0, right here in Texas. And this is where we had the big 6.5 yesterday. They had another 4.5. And the USGS, remember, looking at that 4.5, they're not covering this one. It only happened 2 hours ago. They've decided not to cover it. I don't know why. Texas, we're not looking at everything yet. All these volcanoes in Central America, which is part of North America, are going off. The Peruvian-Chilean wedge, all the action coming down from Colombia into Peru, going off. Volcanoes awakening, magma movement everywhere. South Sandwich Islands, everything in yellow is something awakening. It's going to be Cape Verde. Yep. Can you hear me? Are we still live? I never know. I've seen a 5.8 out there. I think that's fracking, but who knows anymore? Things are bad. 5.2, they're going to come get me and put me in jail because my kid won't go to school. That'll be interesting. I even feel worse if there was no bully. Because you know how hard I can push something. 4.1 there, right there on that part of the boundary between Turkey and Syria that's been forming. And then look around Indonesia into the Philippines, around the biggest caldera on Earth. Look at this. Only thing that's ever saved India are the Himalayan mountains. All right. All over. Zoom in here. This is going to be... Look, volcanic ridge, volcanic ridge, volcanic range, volcanic range, volcanic range. Earthquake here yesterday. That's exactly where they just finished that latest nuclear power plant. Then right here they have a 4.7 and a 5.5. The nuclear power plant was finished right here. Great going, guys. I mean, come on. Nuclear power should not be what you're after. Too many volcanoes and volcanic ridges in the area. Between, just so you guys know, between Shanghai and Hong Kong, you must zoom in a little bit better. Hong Kong's right there. The biggest city in the world, but you got to zoom in to see it. They built 5 more nuclear reactors in China. Good times. Always love when they build nuclear reactors in China, and especially, on top of, China does a better job than Japan does. They spent $10 billion making Fukushima, and they have about $4 trillion trying to clean it up. And they are not able to clean it up. They can just pour it into the ocean. Still have never gotten the rods, or continuing to sink. Now, this is the Philippines out here, part of the Philippines, into Indonesia here. We're going to turn them all on so we can move on. And y'all already know what's going on. Zealandia rising here. Look at New Zealand. Wow. We've got tofu in eruption. We've got, must not be. Is that Vanuatu in eruption? Looks like it. And there's several more awakening here. And all the plate boundaries have not connected with Zealandia rising here. So no one really knows how this is going to turn out. There's no way to predict it. The black and blues are predictions here, but really there's no way to know. Then you just go around Indonesia and the Philippines. It's a shit show. North of the biggest caldera on the globe. It is a shit show. These are volcanoes up here too. It's a volcanic ridge here. Did that report. This is that fault. It's just about done. And as soon as it's done, all that energy is going to, like I keep telling y'all, head over into the Aegean Sea, and one of these islands is going to blow. This is actually a volcanic ridge that comes through here. You can see that 5.2 on that ridge there. And I tell you what, did y'all see the hypersonic, not supersonic, the hypersonic missile that went over 3 U.S. carriers that didn't even see it and hit Israel dead on? Dead on. If it would have been a nuke, it would have been over for all of Israel. It looks like the Yemen military, instead of the Houthi rebels, fired that. That happened yesterday. It ended up right in the middle of Tel Aviv. A hypersonic, not supersonic missile. Keep that in mind. So all the armies are surrounding Israel, just like the Bible says, and we'll have a huge earthquake like we've never seen before. We'll have a subsequential tidal wave. Run for the mountains. Don't turn around and get your coat, because you'll probably have about 15 or 20 minutes to get up as high as you can. I don't know if we're looking at a 100-foot tsunami or a 500-foot tsunami, but we've seen little areas like this before with landslides in Greenland and other areas where there's been just recently a 600-foot tsunami due to a little landslide and earthquake over in Greenland. We've seen even a larger one than that. I did a video just last week. There was a 1,000-foot tsunami created a few years back. All right. It's a big one in Romania. It is on that volcanic ridge, if I can see it there. Ukraine, this is probably war-related here. 0.0 kilometers, M3.8, definitely war-related. Geophones are still going to pick it up, but if it's 0.0, it's war-related. These are French Alps, Swiss Alps, Switzerland, the Italian Alps, the Austrian Alps, etc. Anywhere there's any Winter Olympics, this is where they happen, right here. One of the many resorts up by our Schumann Residence Modeling Center, which is up in the snow right here, actually. All right, this huge bunch around the Aegean Sea is going to be biblically what creates, there's going to be a big one, and that's going to be biblically what creates the earthquake that's mentioned in the Bible, and what I believe is the biggest tsunami that we'll see in some time, at least big enough to wipe out the 5 armies that the Bible calls out that have surrounded Israel, which, I mean, let's just say Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, maybe Turkey. I don't think Jordan is much, but I can keep going. I think y'all have got it pretty well down as well. Wow, look at the west coast of the U.S. up here. They're reporting 2 quakes there. 2 quakes. Thank you, Donna. God bless you. Look at the west coast of the U.S. The big quake here. We are going to talk about this over in South Carolina. One of my subscribers told me about it. I'd already seen it. We're definitely going to talk. And then that North American plate boundary coming up here through the Sea of Cortez, where we have awakening volcanoes. This is Kilauea awakening again. This swarm right here is due to volcanoes awakening and this whole thing splitting apart, man. This is going to be a nightmare, right? What else can I tell you all that's going to be something you can't live without? I'm expecting, again, the Aleutian Islands to wake up a little bit more, and I'm expecting both Kilauea and Mauna Loa to awaken here. We've got, you can't see them, but altogether there's 5 volcanoes on that Russian peninsula right there. I mean, I'm hoping Japan builds another nuclear facility, right? All right, let me give some shout outs to some folks. Mike Johnson, P. Diddy arrested. We'll go see. Don, I love you. Thank you. Anyway, y'all are the only ones I can talk to. I'm going to have to erase the first part of the tape because I don't want like CPS to get a hold of. Although I said I've never hit her, never yelled at her even. Never had an argument with my daughter. I mean, the whole thing, her and my wife argue like they're sisters. It's crazy, man. All right, something that the USGS is not reporting here. A 4-5 right there on that same, well, we can call it whatever we want to. It's going to be our Cascadia subduction zone, the beginning of the Juan de Fuca plate. And this is coming from the Canadian government. I don't think it's going to be covered by the USGS. That's all they have for us today. But that is enough. Let me just say, that is enough. Look, right below them, there's another one from today. 3 of them. Wow, we got some real problems here. Some serious problems, really, in this area here. All these are from today. A 3-8. The last one is just intensifying, a 4-5. This is right where the 6-5 was yesterday. Look, they changed it to a 6-5. The Canadians said it's 6-0. The heck, Canada. I have no problem with the people of Canada. I have problems with the government of Canada. Although I have problems with the government of the U.S. more so. Because I don't live in Canada. Right, let's move on. Look, they're not covered. They're not covered. They'd be right in here. It's a shit show. Almost the biggest thing on the map that the USGS is covering. I guess that's 6-3, and then this Texas fracking earthquake. What a joke. We can talk about Mount Hayes and Mount Spur. 3 eruptions, full eruptions each in 29 years. We have to go in 30 pretty soon. And nothing happening except for lots of magma movement. Anchorage is right there. And this is a big volcanic range. runs hundreds of miles wide. We don't get any information out of Canada. They hardly report for themselves, and they don't share with anyone else in the world, not just the U.S. This is a really random 1.4 here. This is probably going to be, let's see, it's going to be one of the volcanoes that we're not familiar with. It's going to be blasting. Must be trying to release pressure. It's going to be Mount Rainier, Ashford, Washington, only 1.2 kilometers, not even a mile below. 0.6, Packwood, Washington, Mount Rainier. This is Mount St. Helens, no action. Mount Adams, Mount Hood, no action. This is the slowest day I've ever seen in my life. Thank you, whoever, Mike. I'm not quite sure who did that. But thank y'all. I want everyone to guess. This is the Geysers Geothermal Plant. We all know this is Clear Lake Volcanic Ridge. This is Cobb Mountain here, 1 of 4 or 5 surrounding it. This is Clear Lake, the city. Just one number, guys. How many of y'all think went off today? Y'all tell me. 30 of them. Not as many as there were months ago. Went up to, I saw 89 one day. Wow, right on Mammoth Mountain right here. Yosemite Valley. This is this is the Long Valley Caldera right here. It's all a bunch of carbon monoxide and PM 2.5. And this is Mammoth Mountain where they do all the skiing in pretty much all of, you can ski in Lake Tahoe too, but there's a couple areas, and this is really the main one here in California. This is called the Sierra Nevada. I call it the Sierra Nevada Volcanic Range. They call it the Sierra Nevada Mountain Range, right? Who do you think's right? All right, we had a little swarm right there in Long Beach again, right? Malibu, right there Malibu again. Right there in Malibu. And whoa! Thank you, whoever bought me a cup of coffee. That scares the holy out of me. What if I had my wife took my stereo, so what did I buy? What are they, like Polk Audio? Let me see. Yeah. So she took my stereo in the divorce. Really, I just gave it to her. My Bose speakers I've had since forever. So I went out and bought the best ones, Polk Audio. But I don't have this hooked up to that. If I did, it would have went boom, boom. That was just the 24-inch monitor. All right. All these quakes, it's because this plate's not connected here, and we're about to break off. I've shown y'all this on Wiki before. We're going to break off the Walker Lane, which is Walker Lake right here. Right there by the Long Valley Caldera. Go figure, and tell me this is not a volcano with a straight face, Lake Tahoe. This is going to be the new West Coast here. It's going to be a really cool inlet. I don't know if anyone's going to be around to enjoy it. But most of this is below sea level anyway. Areas down here as much as 22 to 25 feet below sea level. We almost saw Sacramento flood out last year all the way down to this area here, and somehow it dried up. I really didn't think it would happen, but it dried up. We're going to see that same thing happen, especially when these ice sheets, not icebergs, melt. Big difference. All right. Let's see if anything else is going on in the old USA. Got one in Yellowstone, a big one for TIFF there at 1.0. And we do have that. This is all fracking stuff, guys. This is all fracking. This is all fracking. Everything you see there. Wow, I didn't know we had a quake up north. It must have just happened. A 2.2 here, South Carolina. And only at 1.9 kilometers. Let's see what that is. See if there's drilling or something around there. Looks like it's in a mining pit. Look, it's in a mining pit. Used to love to jump into old mining pits that had flooded out. The water was just beautiful. This is a mining pit. That's all that was. Nothing. Move along. And let's see what happened up here. We've been having a lot. If this is New Jersey, it is New Jersey. And this is going to be really due to, see all you can visually see the faults here. Can't y'all? I don't know if I can see them or not, but there they are. And there's not going to be really anything around here. I don't really think they're doing a lot of drilling right here or anything. I'm taking a look. I've been in an airplane so many times, guys, y'all wouldn't have any idea. 3 times a week for 20 plus years. And I'm still here. I'll never go on one again. All right. This is the fire map. And basically, Canada is arguing that almost all their fires are out, except for up here in the Northwest Territory, and one kindling here in British Columbia. It's not what our satellites tell us, but you know what? They've got a couple down here in Saskatchewan, and maybe one here in Alberta. Again, not what our satellites are showing. We'll take a look at those. But before we do that, we'll take a look at the U.S. All right. Everyone knows that we have a lot of fires in Oregon and Idaho. This one has been really giving us trouble here. These numbers just don't seem to be updating at all. 69% right there in Yellowstone. I know there were a lot of evacuations. 35,000 acres, 65%. All the way over to all the way over into South Dakota, 2,500 acres going. And there is woods here for it to get going. All the way back into Montana, another 6,700 acres, 3,200 acres almost contained though. 33,000 acres contained. 13,000 acres contained. 115,000 acres 48% contained. There's so many fires in here. 162,000 acres. We'd have to zoom in. You don't want to be up in this area. None of this, man. They say that it's contained, but it's connected to the other fire that's twice as big and only 50% contained. What are they doing? All right. So everything y'all see in yellow and red started today. Wow. Let me go back. This is Yellowstone here. Wow. I can't really back up anymore, but this is Wyoming. This is Montana up here. It's going to be South Dakota. All these fires here started today. This is going to be, get a bearing on where I'm at. I believe this is going to be Wawa Springs, this entire thing here. And these fires are starting around Wawa Springs, less than I thought. I thought it would be on fire by now. All the fires starting around LA. And then they still have the big 3 burning. They can't stop them. The whole city is full of smoke. 54,000 acres. They said that the only way they could get out was from the south. 23,000. Why don't we just fence it before we burn it? They built this city around 5 different volcanic ranges. I mean, hell, this is I-10 going out. I don't even know if you can get to I-10 anymore. Coming in. I saw some video coming in from I-10. I was like, what? I don't want to be playing that game with anybody. Everything in yellow and red's brand new. When I kick it up one more notch, wow, everything in red and yellow, red and white is from yesterday. So, again, best job security I've ever seen is fireman in Los Angeles or the Valley, Lancaster and Palmdale, probably nicer, right? So, who would build a city right here where all the faults break up, right here where all these volcanic ranges are, right here below sea level is all 22 feet below sea level over here. I mean, Kim Kardashian's so smart that she had someone come in and build an $84 million underground bunker in an area that's 22 feet below sea level. Help me understand it, people. Help me. I guess that's probably like a week's worth of work for her. She said, oh, well, we'll build one here, maybe in Hawaii, maybe here, maybe there. All right, we'll zoom in and see if there's anything we're missing. We are missing some fires from yesterday here, all up and down, all of my beautiful. Guys, this is Yosemite and the Sequoia National Forest with all of our trees here. Really sad, 14,000 acres. Sad to see this. These are smaller, but they're still burning. All right, brand new. We'll work our way up. Another big one here, the Boone incident. It's contained though. Good for y'all. In the central part of the valley. Amazing. Y'all could contain it. Now, up into Northern California, we'll zoom in just a little bit more. Look at all the new fires and then the big fires here and here. There's no new fires in Oregon. I think they're getting rain. And Washington, we've got two here near Glacier. I guess this is Glacier. Oh, heck, that's still down in Oregon. This is going to be right on Glacier Peak. We've got a fire. 1,300 acres, 0% contained. Probably an active volcano. Look at this one. There's another 38,000 acres there. That one, 3 acres, 0% contained. What is going on? It's a volcanic ridge through here, guys. Bad. North Cascadia. Bad situation. Again, everything in yellow and red started today. I would never want to be one of these guys that fought fires. Let's see if it's anywhere else in the world or just out west. It's always here on the New Madrid. There's always more fires. You can see them here. Always small fires. I don't know what's going on here. And in Alabama, they always have them contained. That's going to be enough. All right, I want to pick this up. Right north of the border, some dude's house is at 673, and it's been flagged as an outlier unit. In other words, they don't want to put it in the average. There's several houses, though, if you go there. Look, there's another one here. Let's see what they've got. If we can grab them. Nope. The houses have been, look, it's green. It's perfect if you're at the government agency. But if you go to the dude's house right down the street, gosh, they're not gonna let me grab it, are they? No. I'll zoom in and grab it. If you go to the guy's house down the street, look, off the charts. This one says stay indoors. Flagged as an outlier. This is all individual people's equipment that you used to be able to buy for $2.99 from airnow.gov. I think it's $5.99 or something ridiculous. They ruined our maps. They took away our mobile units. Unbelievable. Talk about being afraid to show the public what's going on. Can you get back to version 3.0? That's really all I want to know. Where's 3.0? Right? The air quality doesn't look horrific, especially with all these fires in Washington, Oregon, Iowa, and into Montana and Wyoming. Just doesn't look that bad. There's an actual federal building here. See where we're at. A permanent monitor is what they call a federal building now. All of them are permanent. Where are the mobile units now? Could y'all please tell us that? Remember they used to be triangles for 5 years? 5 years? All right. What's going on? What happened? Dang. Is that a dangerous trail? Is that a dangerous trail? Thank you, Miss Donna. God bless you. Good to see you, Miss Teresa. Well, this is also the PM 2.5. PM 2.5 is the deadliest air pollutant known to man, and it was never anywhere, and now it's everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Look at it coming in with this. Not it was a tropical disturbance, number 8 or whatever they called it. It's already coming at 35 miles an hour. We've got Gordon over here down to 35 miles an hour. But all this yellow crap is PM 2.5 killing you softly. Just exposure to 10 micrograms per meter cubed. You know, I'm not going to say this on YouTube unless it's fact. Per the WHO website, this is 3 times 10 nanograms per meter cubed. Just 10 of them increases your lung cancer percentage to 36%. We've got so many hitting us all day long on the Gulf Coast, especially down here, Central Plains, especially down here. For some reason, they stay off this West Coast, even though they're coming hard at that West Coast. A lot of this is coming from the volcanoes that are erupting here. Again, PM 2.5, that's nanograms per meter cubed. It's so small of a gaseous state of particulate that it's one of the only ones known to man that can break through the blood into the brain, the blood-brain barrier. And even, 9 years ago, it was responsible for over 4.1 million deaths in 1 year alone. But now there seems to be about 100 times more of it everywhere. I don't quite know why. It has a lot of the same symptoms as, this is the rainforest fire. The 4 things I found that create it, and sandstorms weren't one of them, but now they are. Volcanoes, which we have all going off here, and a lot of that's going up into the Gulf Coast. Wildfires, which we have all going up here. I've never heard about sandstorms. I read through all the literature. It's a huge wildfire creating it here. This is all coming from the Sahara sandstorms or dust storms, whatever you like to call them, right across and into the U.S. The only other 2 things that are supposed to cause PM 2.5 are large nuclear plants and large industrial. And that's not what we're getting. We're getting it via somewhere else. All right, this is what is hitting North Carolina and Virginia currently. We're going to put that into motion pretty quick. That storm has already made impact. I think it was named. We'll check it out. Wasn't it briefly named with an H, guys? Do y'all know? And then we have this front coming on here, and all these fronts that aren't even spinning, aren't even doing anything logical. Let's put this in motion. Look at that thing go hit Ireland over there. Look at that. Central Plains. You should have some terror when this storm hits that high, fake high coming over, we have another impact on, look at this, it's spinning the wrong way. It's still a low. That'd be a subtropical low in the middle of North Dakota. Explain that. That's how hurricanes spin, counterclockwise. How high pressures, they're supposed to spin clockwise, right guys? Clockwise. So, we say it thunder snow. Alright, I think we're still going. So it looks like it's going to pepper the East Coast, all the way from North Carolina into Virginia, into Maryland here, into New York, parts of maybe, parts of New Jersey, maybe parts of Pennsylvania as well. But here it comes. I think it did make landfall, but the winds are not very substantial. The only thing you would have to worry about would be tornadoes, but I don't even think the winds are strong enough to do that. We are having some tornadoes right now up here, and we do have several really strong cold fronts. Look at this, spinning the wrong way up here, but headed in for probably Saturday. That's going to be a cold one. Might get the temperature down here in Texas down to like 79. All right, let's update this real quick, guys. I'll end my fake poll. The poll is, what do you do? What do you do? Nothing to do, right? I don't know what to do with her. I don't know why she's so depressed. She won't tell anyone what's wrong with her. Like I said, I've never spanked her, never yelled at her, never had an argument with her. Nothing. She's always been, like you said, my princess. The wife intentionally got me out of the picture as much as she could. And all of a sudden, 36 months later, here we go. All right, it looks like most of the tornadoes went away, but we'll check this area here out, which is not an area I was looking for tornadoes at. We have a supercell right there. This is Kansas, of course, but there's no warnings anywhere around this area. The warnings were all up here, and there were some storms on the ground here. I'll show you. I guess it's self-updating. They're no longer there. These are not tornado warnings. I know they look close, but they're burgundy, not red. It's going to be flash, excessive rainfall, whatever you want to call it. I'll leave that open, and you can see they were supposed to be up there, exactly what they called for. We've got something going on in Kansas right now. Tomorrow, all of a sudden, they have tornado warnings all the way from Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, New England, Kansas, Colorado, Wyoming. Unbelievable. That's going to be ugly. And then they're calling for nothing on Wednesday. So tomorrow, Tuesday, gosh, don't we have something else happening on the 17th? Or one of those things coming in to land? Something was happening on the 17th. Oh, I guess we have that eclipse, right? Tomorrow evening we have the eclipse. I guess that's what we have on the 17th. I know we do have that, but I thought there was something else. All right. We will continue. So, number 8, it was named. I'm almost positive it was named. It hurts me more than it hurts her. You know, the scary part is I don't know girls, so I don't want her to, like, kill herself or something. There's no access to anything but a kitchen knife over there, but I've heard horror stories. I tell you, she's used chairs to make 3 holes in the wall. The police have come now. The school has come now. It's getting crazy. I sat with her on her bed and talked to her for 3 or 4 hours, but I don't know what's wrong with her. Straight A student, guys, always. Best at the sport, always. Everything. All of a sudden, I don't know. I don't think it's the divorce because the first 2 years of the divorce went fine. It's been the last 9 months. Something additional has occurred in the last 9 months that James needs to find out about. Wish I could. Let's see if we got hit. We should have been hit. If they're ever going to be right. If they're ever going to be right, do we get hit? Damn, we didn't get hit with shit. Golly. You gotta be kidding me, man. Y'all know that 1 minute wouldn't even be a G1 storm unless they had called it and they got a lie now. Oh no. Oh no. Is this the CME impact y'all are expecting a G3 from? Or y'all a day off or $1 short? Why didn't the shields go up here? Look, they're calling it a G2. How, you ask? Well, your guess is as good as mine. This must be the impact right here. Plasma went from 3.39 all the way up to, I'm going to grab any of these, 10. Here's the impact. They moved it on me. 10.81. Wow, what an impact. And then again, solar winds and plasma are moving together with temperature. I'm going to have to check the backside. This might be a backside event, right? A backside event is what I'm thinking here. Wow. Look at those winds. Doing millions of miles an hour past Earth. It's moving to the left here. That's what color that is. These are coming from the sun. These are coming from behind the planet, passing Earth. 600 kilometers per second is 2.4 or 3.4 million miles an hour. Let's see. 600 kilometers. Let me draw the little thing so I have to do. What was that? 2 miles per hour. These are kilometers per hour. This is how we have to do it. What in the heck? $1.342 million miles an hour. Earth is moving at 67,000 miles an hour and only moving at you at 544,000 miles an hour. So whatever's coming up behind it is moving. Again, this is coming at the Earth. Earth in this picture is moving to the left at 67,000 miles an hour. The atmosphere is the gray area around it. Everything in red is coming from the sun. Everything on the other side's passing Earth at 67,000 miles an hour, going 1.3 million miles an hour. But always remember, Earth is turning constantly counterclockwise. It's orbiting counterclockwise at 67,000 miles an hour, and it's also coming at you at 54,000 miles an hour. What the heck is hitting us at one? And this is off the charts. It could be faster than 1.34 million miles an hour, right? That goes off the charts, as y'all can see. I'm not holding anything over your head. Look at that. No density. Everything's from behind. Wow. That is scary. These people are obviously lying to us, and they don't get into these smaller models. See what we've got down here with pressure, guys. Looks like it's everywhere, but I don't see what we're looking for here. And we have a little bit of a bow shock here. Uh-oh. We didn't like the way that looked. See what happens. It's like we have pressure everywhere, guys. Bow shock. I'd like to see that bow shock, please. Something looks like it hit us from behind there. What I did notice is here, it's all backside, and that's when the plasma hit. There was another spot here where it's all backside, and that's the other time. Let's see if I can find it. That the plasma hit. I don't know. It's like we're playing push and shove with somebody. There's the other time the plasma hit. Look. Seriously. That's scary as piss. Both the times the plasma hit, there's no bow shock up here. We're moving to the left. No bow shock. That's the first one you saw on Discover. And that's the next one. Look. No bow shock. Something from behind. And then here, you can actually see the winds in kilometers per second from behind. Look at them. Right there, off the charts, passing Earth. Wow. I have no idea what's going on. Just don't. Wish I did, guys. I can see a lot of powerful winds back here behind Earth that are moving a lot faster than Earth. That's the problem, I guess. All right. Well, with that said, it doesn't look like we got that G3 geomagnetic storm. It is now officially the 17th, so either way, they were wrong, right? Either way you look at it, they were wrong. Let's go ahead and have Miss Teresa, if she's still around. Well, my two boys were great and easy to raise. You know, both of them work. They did decent in school. Both of them work great jobs. They have great personalities, hundreds of friends, girlfriends, both making over 200 grand a year. This one, she said she's going to be a movie star. I said, how many of those do you see? About 10. I said, now go look again. I wanted to say, go look at your ears again, but I didn't want to freak her out. There's things that you know that she's worried about that you never would say to your own daughter. Miss Teresa, you want to do a reading for us? I'm going to turn off the AC in the meantime. James Kaufman, World News Report today. Who am I speaking with?
It's Teresa. Good evening, and you have my permission.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been such a long day. I'm, wrapping up a little bit early tonight. And I know you'll be happy to get some sleep too, right?
Anytime's good for me.
All right. I appreciate you. Miss Teresa always helps us, guys, if y'all are new, with a chapter from our Bible, regularly our King James, or really NIV edition of the Bible, which is just a simplified King James, New Testament. And for me, it's, I think, the highlight of my day these days. So with that, we let her magic fingers help us decide what to read, and she doesn't plan anything. I did see someone name something to read today, but I forgot what it was.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I opened our book to Luke 16.
Yes, ma'am. So we can always tell from my computer, because I never erase anything if we've done it, and it seems like we're getting through some of it. There's probably, thousands of books, Miss Teresa?
Oh, yeah.
At least, or what? I was thinking one day we'd be able to get through it, but we're sticking with the one chapter a day, and we've only had one era so far. Let's see, Luke 16, not that one, this one. Is it the parable of the shrewd manager?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, let me get it perfect. And We'll turn it over to Miss Teresa.
Jesus told his disciples there was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possessions. So he called him in and he asked him, "What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management, because you cannot be manager any longer." The manager said to himself, "What shall I do now? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I know what I'll do so that when I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their homes." So he called in each one of his master's debtors and asked the first one, "How much do you owe my master?" 800 gallons of olive oil, he replied. The manager told him, "Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 400. Then he asked the second, "And how much do you owe?" 1,000 bushels of wheat, he replied. He told him, "Take your bill and make it 800. The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly, for the people of his world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than they are the people of the light. I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it's gone, you will be welcomed into eternal dwellings. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much, and whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much. So if you have not been trustworthy in handling worldly wealth, who will trust you with true riches? And if you have not been trustworthy with someone else's property, who will give you property of your own? No servant can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. The Pharisees, who loved money, heard all of this and were sneering at Jesus. He told them, "You are the ones who justify yourselves in the eyes of men, but God knows your hearts. What is highly valued amongst men is detestable in God's sight." The law and the prophets were proclaimed until John. Since of the time that the good news of the kingdom of God is being preached, and everyone is forcing his way into it, it is easier for heaven and earth to disappear than for the least stroke of a pen to drop out of the law. Anyone who divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery, and the man who marries a divorced woman commits adultery. There was a rich man who was dressed in purple and fine linen, and he lived in luxury every day. At his gate was laid a beggar named Lazarus, covered with sores and longing to eat whatever fell from the rich man's table. Even the dogs came and licked his sores. The time came when the beggar died, and the angels carried him to Abraham's side. The rich man also died and was buried. In hell, where he was tormented, he looked up and saw Abraham far away, with Lazarus by his side. So he called to him, "Father Abraham, have pity on me, and send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, because I am in agony in this fire." But Abraham replied, "Son, remember that time in your lifetime you received your good things, while Lazarus received bad things? But now he is comforted here, and you are in agony. And besides all of this, between us and you, a great chasm has been fixed, so that those who want to go from here to you cannot, nor can anyone cross over from there to us." He answered, "Then I beg you, Father, Send Lazarus to my father's house, where I have 5 brothers. Let him warm them, so that they will not also come to this place of torment. Abraham replied, They have Moses and the prophets. Let them listen to them. No, Father Abraham, he said, but if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent. He said to him, So if they do not listen to Moses and the prophets, they will not be convinced, even if someone rises from the dead. Amen.
Amen. So everyone always tells me that hell is never mentioned, but this is exactly what we're talking about here. Heaven and hell. You know how many times, and I could never argue with them. Now I can. Luke 16, I'll try to remember the numbers there and the names, but now I can argue. It's definitely talked about. You're wrong. You're wrong. They separate them. You can't go from one to the other.
It's New Testament.
Amen. But you can't go from one to the other. There's fire, there's brimstone, everything that we nowadays think of as heck. Anyone now that tells me the Bible's... how many times have they told you guys that? The Bible's never mentioned hell. Well, or the Bible never mentions hell, but...
It's in red, so it's Jesus talking.
Oh, wow. That's even scarier, right? It's not in red on mine, and I do know that's how this used to work. So is the whole thing 16 all in red, or what?
Except when...
He answers?
Right.
Right. Wow, there were so few.
But it's mostly all in red.
Yeah.
Except for the Pharisees who loved money.
And
Just not in red.
I've also been lied to so many times that Jesus only speaks in 2 chapters. Have y'all ever heard that? And now we see him speaking in so many more. And, well, I don't know if we can take this as the actual exact words, because it was written several hundred years after Jesus' death. But I know that they kept meticulous scrolls of what was going on and what was being said at the time.
I have faith that it's the just of it.
It is definitely the just of it. That's how I should have put it. All I try to say is maybe not every word's perfect, but it's the just of it. You can be assured. So thank you so much. That was an awesome read. Now I can always go after someone now in my Luke 16 and say that there is in fact a hell. You better behave. I don't want to tell my daughter that just now. What do you think I should tell my daughter, Miss Teresa? You've raised 3 or 4 children.
I raised 3. I was the oldest of 6, and I have never witnessed this kind of behavior you're describing.
Right. So
you can only, speak from what you know.
Right.
So,
and
and I don't know that.
We don't need. Oh, they might. I don't know this.
If they said my whole name, it was the end of the world. I was in deep trouble.
Oh, yes.
I was never hit. I was never yelled at. It was if your full name was spoken, you've done something really wrong.
It was the same. They would change my name from Trey, I'm the 3rd, to James. Anytime they said James, I was like, I'm getting out of here, man. And we were the family that, hey, we were kind of in the wealthy area, but me and my sister, after church, we raked the lawn on Sunday afternoons where everybody else played.
I didn't have any energy left to get into any kind of trouble.
Exactly.
We had chores to do.
Yeah, my dad was the kind of guy that wouldn't spend $1 changing the brakes or whatever. We would always do everything, even power steering. It's great to have that knowledge looking back on it, but thinking about how many times my hands got cut and how many times I watched my friends ride by on bikes laughing and stuff like that, it sticks with you. But now I've got one that she just doesn't care. She's lost it all.
If somebody would ask me, I would give them the same answer. I have no experience in that kind of matters, and it would definitely be something for a professional.
Well, she's been to 3 of them already. She can talk them into. She's good. Y'all heard her in the 4th grade. Remember, she's in the 8th grade now. Y'all said, "God, is this really a 4th grader?" Yes, it was.
Well, it's definitely something you and your wife have to discuss.
I've
And it might be girls' school. Tiger's Eye mentioned a horse ranch, and there is a horse ranch girls' school near you in Austin.
God, she would kill to be around horses. I'd love to make her have to, instead of always just getting to ride them, when I started riding horses, every night before we did anything, we had to take the blanket off, make sure it was someplace safe, it didn't get any cockleburs, get the horse fed, get the horse scrubbed down, not scrubbed,
pen and paper?
combed down. If you'll text me, I know you text me all the time.
Yeah, it's called Thrive Girls Ranch, and it's near Austin.
Well, that would maybe be something, if we can work into the budget, that she would need. So I grew up in that same type of deal. Mine was a Christian situation, which was great. There was no weirdos, nothing bad. It was boys and girls. But when we rode our horses, that was our horse for 2 or 4 weeks, wherever time we were there for. You made sure that horse was much happier than you were. Trust me.
Well, by the time you get done with the grooming and the feeding and the shoveling of the shit,
then you gotta go. You gotta go figure out your own meal on the fire.
Yeah.
That's the real deal. And you're right. We had to comb them, or whatever you call it, every day, every time we stopped.
Yeah.
So I learned all that. I learned how to hold their leg down. I mean, we did it all. But that was still a great Christian situation through my church. And I remember it's called Singing River Ranch. And it's on, what's the highest mountain in Colorado? Everest or Ernest, whatever it's called. It was on that mountain. I went there 3 or 4 years in a row. So, but not for school. That was summer camp for me. But this one needs something else.
Well, you'll just have to pray on it that you get the answer you're looking for.
Well, that sounds like something that may be viable, actually, especially if it's away from all these spoiled kids. And I hate to say that. So it's funny, my dad spoils her, forgets how he treated us, spoils her, and then tells me today, well, she's going to have to work it out for herself. I'm like, you're the one that bought that $1,400 phone and that $2,000 computer, but no one seems to listen. Anyway, you're right. I'll have to work it out as usual. The wife's about giving up, or ex-wife's about giving up, which I guess I understand.
I have faith that you will.
I will. God bless you. Thank you for the reading. It was wonderful.
Much love to everyone. Good night.
Much love to you, Miss Teresa. Thank everyone for putting up with my complaining and terrible day today. And I just don't see that this is a huge G3 impact. Let's see what the KP indexes look like. I mean, just for fun. If they come up with a G3 here, we might be getting hit. This is not loading right. Oh, no, they did. They came up with a G3, but where is it? It would be right here. Wait a minute, man. You can't have a G3 storm with 6 centimeters of plasma and 552 kilometers per second. So these are the last three hours. This was from 3 to here. Nothing before there or after that was counted. We had a couple. I mean, the shields haven't even raised yet. I think they're just totally bullshitting me. I mean, 453, 559. You can't have a solar storm with 559 kilometer per hour winds, and plasma at 3. Plasma at 3. Temperature's a little bit above normal, but oh my lordy lord. Look at that bad boy. The only way that we can tell is if you folks in the north use your camera phones and go out and take some pictures towards the north. Even if you can't see the aurora. Oh, they killed my feed too. Space weather, guys. Space weather, run for your lives! Hey guys, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm trying to get it back, but I don't know if we have.